This is Taking Stock on Bloomberg. I'm Pimm Fox. The numbers don't lie. The popularity of social gaming is growing and growing explosively. Thanks to games such as Farmville, the market is expected to surpass $1 billion next year. That's according to eMarketer. More than 1 out of every 4 internet users is going to play a game on Facebook or some other social network site this year. Another hot area right now, of course, mobile gaming. And my next guest is all over that market. His company, Glu Mobile, has just partnered with the graphics chip giant NVIDIA to develop games for Android-powered tablets. We're joined now by Niccolo De Masi. He's the CEO of Glu Mobile. He joins us from San Francisco. Niccolo De Masi, good to have you with us on Bloomberg. Start us off by explaining to those that aren't necessarily, familiar with playing games online or playing games on mobile devices. What does Glu Mobile specifically do? You make games.
Well, we are actually a one-stop shop for both creating and distributing games on mobile devices. We do it globally, and we're at the intersection, really, of the two most exciting trends in gaming, which is the growth in social gaming and the growth in gaming on mobile devices, whether it be tablets, netbooks, smartphones. That's very much our core focus.
Now, this mobile gaming that you're describing as a social phenomenon and social networking issue, is this a situation where people are going to be able to play against each other? Is that what's most popular right now?
No, that's exactly right. We've seen this phenomenon online with titles on Facebook. Glu is doing the same, but on mobile devices and reaching, we believe, in the long run, many more consumers, because there are something like 3.5 to 4.5 billion people around the world with a mobile device already, all of whom are getting ever smarter phones in the coming Christmas or two.
What's popular right now? Does it have to be a game that's connected to an existing franchise, such as The Lord of the Rings or The Price is Right, or is it new games? I know that, for example, Angry Birds, coming out of Finland, that's been wildly popular. What captures people's attention?
Well, the explosion in consumer appetite for this kind of content has really come out of the increase in the power of the hardware they're actually playing with. And what it's led to is growth in underlying demand for both existing franchises as well as new ones. So a lot of Glu's original IP that we've launched in the last quarter, things like Gun Bros, things like Hero Project, as well as titles like Lord of the Rings, which we also put out, are all seeing phenomenal growth.
And what game are you best at, Niccolo?
I'm best at Gun Bros. It's Glu's top-selling original IP. It's been a title that made it into the top 40 or 50 grossing on the iPhone, and we're of course bringing it to Android tablets, the iPad. Glu's vision is to allow everyone to play with and against their friend on Glu's games.
Niccolo, what challenges do you face making games and then making that transition from, let's say, being able to play it on a desktop computer, a laptop, to being able to play it on a mobile, on a smart device? Is there a lot of technical work that goes into that?
Absolutely. I mean, we have been a pioneer in this space. We've been going since 2001. We are experts at all of the idiosyncrasies of the ecosystem. So using the social networks that consumers want to use on mobile devices, making sure the game is optimized for your device of choice, whether you choose that tablet, that Android, that iPhone, that Windows Phone 7, that Palm device. We want our consumers to all be able to play with and against each other on our games. You choose the carrier, you choose the social network, you choose the handset. We will make sure that you have the best gaming experience possible.
What about price? What do these games cost, and will their cost go up?
Well, that's a wonderful question for us. Glu's been on a new mission with a new management team for the past year. We actually make all of our games free to play. So they're free to download. You never have to pay a cent. There is advertising, and it gives you the option of spending money if you want to go farther, faster, or be a more competitive player. But fundamentally, we're about a big audience of Glu gamers around the world playing our own original IP.
Now, what this audience around the world, are you seeing preferences based on platform? Are there games that people who use Android-powered phones like to play as opposed to those that use, let's say, Apple's iPhone?
Well, actually, I think consumer preferences have been pretty similar. Content that does well on Apple's phones will do well on Apple's tablets, will do well on Android devices, will do well on Palm, Windows Phone 7, any other smartphone platform. But what we have seen is consumers' willingness to play brand new original IP, which is very exciting for Glu. We were able to actually build a brand on mobile devices first, and then in the future think about taking it to other non-mobile platforms, which is the reverse of what you saw 5 years ago.
Have you been able to break down the market and know exactly how many people you've got, let's say, on an Android platform as opposed to an iPhone? What's the breakdown?
Yeah, so one of the things that we've built in the past year is the technology to be able to tell exactly where individual consumers are getting stuck on our games, what they're enjoying about their games, what they're finding something that should be improved. We listen to user feedback. We know exactly what users are playing on, how often they're playing, how many minutes they're playing. And what we're seeing is, obviously a marketplace which is evolving rapidly. At the moment, there's certainly a bit of a lead with iOS-based devices, but Android is catching up quickly in terms of the number of new Android and iPhone devices that are getting used by consumers on a daily, weekly basis.
All right, I want to thank you very much, Niccolo De Masi. He's the CEO of Glu Mobile, talking about mobile games.